Hello everyone, I have another whimsical style painting for you. We're going to be working on this trio of pups with their little Valentine theme in the background. I'm going to walk you through the watercolor steps and then I'm going to show you how you can use some color pencils to add just a little bit more scribble detail, create that little extra whimsical layer. For those of you who'd like to paint along with me but drawing's not your thing, I do have a sketchbook membership. That's where I have all of the line drawings for any of the paintings I do on my YouTube channel. You could check out that code right there and that'll lead you right to my Ko-fi page. You could check out that information there. Now, if you can tell, my voice is sounding a little scratchy, a little squeaky. I lost it last week and it's not all the way back. So this time for the video, I'm going to talk a little bit, add a little music, and then talk a little bit more. Well, let's get started. Grab your watercolor paints and your color pencil and let's create this trio of adorable little pups. I like using the combination of using a tracer and a light box to transfer my image onto my watercolor paper. That way my image won't get so dark if I'm doing all the beginning drawing stages just directly onto my paper. And then I can use a gum eraser to lightly lighten my pencil marks if I need to do so even further. I'm just using a simple little inexpensive set of watercolors today, and I'm using a student grade watercolor paper, the Canson watercolor paper, 140 pound. I'm going to have some links down inside of the description for some of the items I use, so if you're interested in checking them out, you can look down there. This is a small little illustrative painting, so I'm using a smaller brush, a number 6 round brush. You want to use a round brush that has a nice point on it that's going to be able to bounce back and keep its shape. I find that the Princeton brushes, the Velvet Touch ones, have really worked well for me. I've used them for a very long time and I've gotten a lot of use out of them. I'm creating a wet on wet technique here first on the little hearts. I first went ahead and painted in the area using straight water, and then I'm adding the color on the top and letting two colors blend at the same time. So I added a little bit of bright pink, added some neon pink because this set does have a neon color in it, a dash of purple here and there. Now, if you get too much color in those areas, you can go ahead and lift your color by tapping your brush on your paper towel, removing all of the moisture, and then tapping it back into the area where you want to lift your color. Again, I apologize for my voice. At least I have a little bit of voice. I probably most likely will be playing some music here and there to be able to give my voice a rest, and you're not going to have to listen to this little squeaky voice. When I designed this card, I created 3 little dogs that were stacked together. So there's a sheepdog in the back, and then just kind of your ordinary plain hound dog in the front, and then this little Scotty Terrier off to the side. Now, when you're layering your colors in, no matter what color you use, you need to have some contrast in between your dogs. So that means that some of them needs to be lighter and something needs to be darker. So I'm going to make my hound dog a darker set of brown colors. My little Scotty dog is going to have little accents of blue with some gray. And then that sheepdog in the back is going to have some darker black, some soft black color. And then the white areas, I'm not going to leave them white, of course. When you're painting watercolor, you're going to have to add a little bit of color. So I'm going to be adding some gray to that. I'm going to let you watch as I layer in my colors, and I'm basically doing kind of that wet on wet technique as well. I'm laying a little bit of color, adding the little bit of darker on top, and letting the colors blend together naturally. When you're doing watercolor, you always start with your light and brightest colors first, and then work your way dark. All right, let's go ahead and speed this video up as you watch. Once I had finished that little Scotty dog up front, I needed to choose to paint in an area where my colors wouldn't touch the little dog. Watercolor has the unique property that it wants to travel wherever the paper is wet, so if I don't want any of that color to run into that little front dog, I need to choose an area that is dry and won't touch it. So I decided to work on that sheep dog in the back. I have a black that's in my set. It's kind of a soft black, so I added some water to that, and I'm going to be layering in just a few layers. This paper is a student grade paper, so it does dry a lot faster than what 100% cotton paper would dry, so you can work in those areas a lot sooner because it does dry a lot faster. This set doesn't really have any great colors of brown, so I kind of mix my own. I take a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and mix my colors together to create a nice little warm brown for my little dog. The legs in the front of the hound dog, I needed those to stand out slightly a little bit more than what the body color would be. So I started with them being lighter because they were out front and created his body a slightly darker color. I'm going to be adding some more layers to this, and I'm going to be adding some colored pencil as well to add just a little bit of difference to this little guy's body. To create the white area on my sheepdog, I'm going to be using some very watered down gray color. The more water you have in your colors, the less intense they're going to be. So I wanted a real subtle shade of gray there. That's just going to be adding the darkness of the shadows to this little guy. For his ears, they're going to be the darker black color, and his little paw, I'm going to be adding that same color that I used on his ears. I'm going to do that to his little paw at the bottom. Here you can see me adding the next layer to the front legs of my dog. So it's a slightly different color than his body. That's going to help them stand out just a little bit more. Before I added the collars to each of the dogs, I wanted to make sure that their bodies were completely dry. I want that color to stay right in there, that area, and not float out into the dog. So I use less water in my paint. It's more concentrated with paint and a little less water, and my dogs are completely dry in those areas. I decided to make them red, so I took some of the red color as well, and I put that into the hearts up above. I like to add some of the color all over my painting, so if I was going to make my color of my collars be red, I want it someplace else. I use the same reds down below and add a little bit of the pink from those hearts up above to create that area where they're sitting. For the leaves on the flower areas, I just took a nice little pretty shade of light blue and added that to those leaves. I'm going to be adding a little bit more color using my color pencils, so this was just a good base. Add a little bit of green to that one. Because I had the blue on the dogs, I wanted to add just a tiny bit of blue someplace else. At this stage, it's a great idea to take a look at your painting and see if you need to add more shadows or more contrast to make a division in between your little dogs. Now that everything is dry, I can add all the accents using my color pencil, my micron pen, and a little bit of my white Uniball to bring in some really bright whites. When using my color pencil to add that little extra bit of whimsy, I want to be loose with my strokes of my pencil work. So I'm going past the leaves or going past the flowers, adding just really loose line work. That's going to add that little extra character. There is no real right way or wrong way or formula to do this line work. You basically are doodling and adding line work to some areas that just kind of makes your painting come to life, or how you like to add your line work. The more you practice this, the more you're going to find what you like to add to your paintings. To add the little dark scribbly bits to my painting, I'm using the micron pen in a nib size of a 01. This is a nice small nib, and I could come in and do just those little tiny scribble bits here and there. I can use it to create the eyes because they're small little eyes, and add little dashes and starts and little tiny scribbly bits. It really does bring these little animals to life. To create the lettering, I also used that small micron pen. I love this saying, "Woof and kisses." How cute is that? I used my white gel Uniball pen to add just the tiny bits of white to create the little highlights in their eyes and just the little shines on their noses. It worked perfect to add the little white details. You could also use your color pencils to create a little fur texture if you'd like, and I thought the little hound dog up front could use a little bit on the front of his body. I gave each of the dogs a rosy colored cheek. I used pink for the sheepdog and for the terrier, and for the hound dog up front I used a little bit of red. Well, let's take a look at what they look like sitting in my studio among some of the other Valentine paintings we have created so far on my channel. And here they are, looking cute as can be. I think they look so sweet amongst the other Valentine paintings we have done so far. I love the little sheepdog and the hound dog and just that little terrier tucked into each other. If you like doing art and crafts, come on over and see what I'm doing. I'd love to have more creative friends join me. Leave me a comment, give me a thumbs up. It really does help YouTube push my videos out there. Well, thanks for joining me today, and hopefully you'll come back and join me again, and perhaps next time you'll paint right along with me.